and that has to do with 1 John 4:18 that talks about there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment, and the one who fears is not made perfect in love. We discussed about this fear. What does it mean to have fear, and what is this fear? And this fear is a tool. It's a gift, matter of fact. It's a tool that was gifted to human beings as a tool to help us understand our minds. It was like an alarm system. Fear is an alarm system. It's not negative. Nothing God has ever created is bad. Matter of fact, all things are good. And fear is one of those things where fear is telling you that at that very point of moment, there is a thought that originated from the outside that is bodily or affecting your mind. And so fear is telling you, yo, watch out, because you are no longer in a state of love. You are no longer in a state of rest. You are no longer in a state of peace. You are now in fear because there's an external thought affecting your mind. So it's a way of you understanding that your mind is under attack. And it's not for condemnation, it's not for judgment, but it's for us to realize that we are under attack. And when you realize you're under attack, then you need to go and clean up. See, a lot of people try to fight the fear, but you don't need to fight the fear. You need to fight the source of the fear, the force behind the fear. That's the problem. The fear itself is just letting you know that at that very moment, you are under attack. But there is other components that are affecting that very fear. And so what happens is fear is a result of an external thought that is affecting your mind. And I always say, if you want to truly understand that, you have to understand things like insecurity, which insecurity means that you believe you don't have the power within to affect or impact or change your external world. And this makes you the subject of the playground of life. This gets you in a state where you're no longer living, you're not just existing, you're no longer acting, and you're no longer you're just reacting. And so people's whole life, and that's the sad bit about it, is because most of us, our whole entire life, we've actually never lived our own lives. Our life is a compilation of reactions. It is a compilation of action, things that we think are actions, but God doesn't consider it action, and they are not action. Why? Because it is things that you do because of an experience, things that you do because somebody looked at you a certain way, things that you do because somebody thought of you a certain way, things that you do because you don't think you belong in a certain place, because you don't think you have the ability to overcome a certain thing. So we are now living a compilation of reaction. And so our whole entire life, we've gone through it just reacting to different components. And that's the sad bit about it, is that you get to the end of your life, and if you look around and you ask yourself, how much of this life have I actually lived? That's a very depressing question to ask, because the answer will be very depressing for most of us. We haven't lived very much of our own lives. We've reacted to what happened in our childhood, what happened with our friends, what happened with the family. We've just reacted to that. What happened in job application? What happened when somebody don't like you? What happened to the society you couldn't fit in? And these compilations of reaction has assembled what somebody now calls my life. And so many people in front of you, they will tell you they're proud of their life, but when they are away by themselves, they know they haven't lived the life they should have lived. Why? Because your consciousness does not lie. It will tell you that your life isn't where it's supposed to be. And so the solution we found was a solution with love. And not any kind of love, it was perfect love. And we discussed about this state of perfect love. Cody, do you remember what we said about perfect love?
Like perfect love, like he used the word complete, which is mature.
A love that is mature, love that is perfect. And this is a love that has to go through trials to mature. It has to grow. A lot of people don't want love to grow. They want love to be perfect from the start. But perfect love is a result of opposition. It is a result of trials. It is a result of overcoming those trials. Trials alone does not give you perfect love, but overcoming those trials, overcoming those mental breaks, overcoming loss of job, overcoming hatred, overcoming all these things that come up in your life is what gets you to the state of perfect love. And it's not just you overcome and then you just sit there and say, I've done it. No, you must be able to overcome and still remain in that state of love. What does that mean? You know, a certain manager did wrong to you. They blamed you for something that wasn't yours. And you didn't do. You battled through that situation. Even though you lost your job, you've overcome that situation. You've overcome that mindset. You don't blame yourself. You don't blame your manager. You don't blame anybody. You just love. How many of us can do that? That takes great self-control.